Hello, Libra. Welcome to my Body and Heart Tarot Therapy, or welcome back. Happy New Year, first of all, Libra. Here we are in 2020. I'm obviously here to do the reading for what's left of January of 2020. I wish you had an amazing end of the year 2019, that you were able to wrap up not just the year but also the decade, to close down to have the closure that maybe you were hoping for, and that you were open and welcoming 2020, with joy and excitement. Yes, so this is a general reading for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. If it resonates, it resonates, and if it doesn't, then it's just not your reading. Use your own intuition to know what messages apply for you and let the rest go. All right, Libra, I hope you're well. Let's see what's coming up for you. All right, so we have the Seven of Pentacles as your current energy. There we go. Yeah. The Queen of Cups as your challenge. It's always got to be a challenge. Let's see what's your focus, Libra. Seven of Cups as your focus. Ace of Swords as your advice. And the Five of Cups as your future energy. Bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Pentacles as your underlying theme. The underlying energy, which is the theme of your reading. So the way I read them is that this is kind of what you're working through this month, like the general theme, and these are more or less the steps of it. Okay, I'm gonna pull out the clarifiers before we go any deeper into this conversation. So let's clarify this. No, that's not gonna work. Sorry. Way too many. Let's clarify these cards. Where are these cards here? All right, so we have the Six of Swords with the Seven of Pentacles as your current energy. We have the Knight of Discs with the Queen of Cups as your challenge. Eight of Discs with the Seven of Cups as your focus. Nine of Swords with the Ace of Swords as your advice. And the Devil with the Five of Cups as your future energy. And we have the Six of Wands with the Page of Pentacles as your underlying energy, as the theme. And in this deck, the Six of Wands is called Victory. Let's see if I can focus better on it. Not really. All right, so the Page of Pentacles with Six of Wands. So this month of January, you're allowing some very natural transformation to happen. Is that type of natural growth that happens when children grow, you know. If you just offer them a safe space, and if you give them, I don't know, nourishing food and everything they need, they just grow naturally. They transforming little by little. This is the type of transformation that you're undergoing now, and it's a very healthy one, and it's coming from a place of groundedness and awareness and playfulness. This is a page, so it's a beginning of this transformation. Is gonna take time to grow with whatever seeds you've been planting in there, but it's definitely happening. When with the victory card, it's definitely happening. And it's a transformation that happens at the body level, maybe it's transformation that happens in your daily activities, but you're starting seeing like these new opportunities coming from you, from this new lifestyle that you've taken. And I don't know if it's necessarily incredibly new as a lifestyle, but something's definitely starting to make a difference in your life. And yes, you're starting seeing this for yourself, and maybe other people start seeing it too. Um, well, that isn't that nice. I'm happy to see this. What else? Oh yeah, the Page of Pentacles talks also about messages. So you may find a lot of messages right now within your body. Pay attention to your body. It carries a deep wisdom and a lot of information that when we slow down and we really feel into our body, that's where we find that type of information. Having to do, of course, with our health, but also much deeper than that, our emotions, our well-being, and so on. And also you may find messages into nature right now, like if you walk more in nature, and you may be inclined to do so this month, since you have this Page of Pentacles here, which is of the earth. Yeah, take your time, really take your time, maybe touch a tree, really feel into it, see how it feels for you. Maybe take a while to just like watch the lake or the river that you're walking by, listen to the wind, look at the clouds, hear the birds, that type of contemplation style of walk, and not just walk, whatever it is that you do in nature. But you may find interesting messages coming to you in that type of environment. So enjoy that. So that's kind of what's going on through the whole reading, like the whole month. But let's break it down a little bit. You have the Seven of Pentacles with the Six of Swords, which is called Science, and in this deck. And the Seven of Pentacles does talk a lot about taking stock. So maybe having this type of like natural growth that starts happening, the seed is planted, you start seeing it, you starting observing it, other people start seeing the change too. You know, maybe you feel more alive, maybe you feel more connected with yourself, with your emotions. Well, it's a great time for you to take stock a little bit of what is it that you're planting next. You know, this Seven of Pentacles, as you can see in this image, this person's like is not in the planting phase anymore. It's about, to be honest, I don't know that much about what's it called? There we go. point point taken. About agronomy and things like this. But you know, there's that time where after you planted, you take the crops and you see what you plant next, and what you need to let go of, and also the fruits that you can actually not the fruits, but you know what you can reap off, what you can eat. There's a name for that part, which I forgot right now, but I'm sure that those of you that know what I'm talking about are aware of it. And and that has to do with the earth realm. So it's something that it's very touchable, very physical. And I like that this card in this deck is called Science. In the weight deck, symbolizes like people moving away from a certain situation that's not good for them, or from a way of thinking, or from kind of like moving on. But I like that in this deck is called Science, because it makes me think that we're developing a way to let go. We are developing a way to select um, what works for us and what doesn't. So you Libra actually are developing that, and I get it that you're really good at this, right? Like with your the air energy, swords energy, that's your realm, that's your thing. You know how to you're quick-minded and witty and smart, so you can figure out like a method to sort out what is it that you need, especially from this very grounded place. You start seeing what works, you start seeing what doesn't, what actions, the time, ways that you spend your time, maybe where you're putting your money, things like this. It's very, again, very tangible. But it is your mind that is figuring out the new pattern or the new way to work with this. The sorting mechanism, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's all I'm getting from here. Sweet and short. Or was it short and sweet? The Queen of Cups and the Knight of Discs as your challenge. Okay, this Queen of Cups, well, she's very much connected with her emotions. She's in that reflective state. She needs time to recharge by the water most of the time in order to kind of like let go of everything that she's taking in when she's being all that nurturing and connected and so on. You see, her natural abilities are to connect deeply with other people, and to hold space for them, and to nourish them, and to understand their emotions, and to hold space for them so they can go through them. She's a good therapist in that way. And what some people may call an empath. And all that's great and dandy, but she also needs her alone time here. She needs time to cleanse. That's why the water's here as well, and to feel her own emotions. Because sometimes when we're taking in so much from other people, we may have the tendency to not recognize anymore what's mine and what's yours. I'm like, okay, it's not for everybody, but this archetype definitely needs this type of alone space and recharging space. And having this as a challenge for you, what puts my mind into is like, I think it may be challenging for you right now to really connect with your emotions in this. Maybe your mind is telling you all the signs of things and evaluating all the time, kind of where you at, where's this going, what needs to be done in order to for the actual growth to keep happening. You start reaping a little bit the benefits of your work, and you tasting the sweetness of it, and you definitely don't want to go back to places that were maybe darker, or that maybe there are unstable. So it is possible that you may just not want to feel that much. You may want to be like, okay, no, emotions are a luxury I don't have right now, or there's something that tend to hold me back. mm, that slows you down. The Knight of Discs is more, it talks about expansion. Like he all the knights talk about expansion and growth. But a Knight of Discs in particular talks about like he's really slow. He's one of the slowest knights in the deck, and he's also like very, how do you call that, when precaution is your main drive. He doesn't really take many risks, and maybe in this situation you feel your emotions as risky. Okay, yeah, I definitely get it now. It may feel risky, and it may feel dangerous to tap into them, or it can feel like that. I don't really think it is. But here's the news. They are part of you, and they're messengers. The emotions are very important for us in order to understand kind of where we are. These are messages between the body and the brain. It's we need to learn to decode them. We need to learn to feel through them. We need to learn to experience them without clinging to them or without pushing them away. And this is why the Seven of Pentacles is Seven of Cups is coming in here as your focus. And prudence, yeah, that was the word here, prudence. So your instinct may be right to be prudent about your emotions, to not be throw off balance. But in order to do that, you gotta really feel through them. It is not going to happen if you avoid them. You're not going to get any type of long-term stability if you're avoiding your emotions. Um, hmm. The Seven of Cups is really a reminder that we can feel our way to the one cup that is important to us. These talks are obviously about choices. Again, taking stock and choose what to do next, what to focus my energy on. Maybe if you're doing any type of emotional cleansing work or emotional release, you don't even know. Like, okay, I have an army of trauma behind me, or emotional pain that needs to be released. What to even how to do this, where to go next. um because maybe sometimes when you actually tend to feel or try to feel, you get completely swollen in, like, whoop. Suddenly you're completely overwhelmed. So prudence here is necessary. It's really good to be prudent as you approach this, but it is important to approach this. It is important to develop your intuition, to understand how to work with yourself and to understand how to decode your messages. Your mind is helpful here. Yeah, it's right there with you. Developing the science of how to work with yourself, how to discover yourself, how to understand yourself, how to befriend yourself, really, because that's an important process that we all need to go through. But with the Eight of Pentacles here, I think you're getting the hang of it. Like, yes, it's called prudence here, so it's good to take your time and take do this slowly. Like, do this slowly. Don't go for quick fixes right now. That's not going to do the job, and you're making so much progress. You don't want to fuck it up by triggering yourself to the degree that beyond of what you can take right now. This reading obviously applies for people that do have this type of issue right now, maybe not connecting so well with their emotions, or maybe avoiding their emotions right now, or maybe avoiding to take space for also with other people and their emotions, since the Queen of Cups is really good at taking other people's emotions in as well. So maybe you also want to take a look at what you associate who you associate yourself with right now, who you're going to spend your time with and your energy, and what kind of emotions you're taking in. If you don't find yourself in a completely not a very balanced place, or a new gain balance but not grounded enough yet, maybe it's not time to play therapist, and it's not time to Mm, when I say play therapist, I'm like to play that role. That may be your job. I don't know. So don't take it an offense, please. It's not time to play that role right now. It's more be time to really just look for those connections that bring you some type of joy and feel like nourished by them rather than destabilized. Not to say that you completely need to push these people away from your life, but just do some self care. Do some self care and learn to say no when sometimes you know that somebody who's maybe going through a terrible situation and they really need support, and maybe you feel kind of you have to give the support because you're a friend or because you know you can, and be prudent about that too, because you can only do that when you're grounded enough. And if you're just at the beginning of your seeing the light and feeling really connected and so on, you may want to not take in a lot of negativity right now and poison and stuff. uh do help whenever you feel you can, but be closely connected to your body and to your emotions in order to see how much you can really take. Yeah, this person here is like looking at all these cups here in such a dreamy, weird atmosphere, and he's like, okay, what do I choose? What do I choose? What do I choose? He doesn't need to choose with his eyes. He just needs to go into his own intuition. If you feel through, if you really feel through everything that you're kind of going through in the present moment, you don't need to go not to feel all your past or all your anxiety for the future. You can actually, as you connect more to your body and as you stay present and as you like allow your mind to kind of sort these things out for you, create a new pattern, work on your new pattern, check out neuroplasticity and everything around that. As you working on creating and reprogramming certain parts of your brain right now, mm, allow yourself to rely a bit on your intuition. You may not be so used to that, Libra, because air signs aren't very much don't put much weight on intuition, but we all have it and we all need it, and it can be helpful to us if we learn to listen to it. And I think you're learning that. This is the new thing you're incorporating. And your advice is to bring like maybe special attention and clarity to whenever cruel thoughts come in, whether to yourself or others. Sometimes we find ourselves judging other people very harshly, and we may not think of ourselves as judgmental, but there here I am, I don't know, judging that person that's maybe fat eating a burger, and here I'm like, of course they're fat, they're eating burgers or blah blah blah. Or maybe I find myself judging that person that she's I don't know, screaming at a child. We don't know what that person had been through, but we find that horrible and we're very judgmental about this. We may say it out loud, or we may not. That's not the point. The point is just to notice when we are becoming a little bit judgmental, a little bit cruel with other people, because that's the way we actually judge ourselves. Or the other way around, if I judge myself in very harsh ways, but I'm all nice and sweet with all the other people, it's maybe a very good point to look at how honest that is and how far does that go. Am I really truly connecting with other people, or am I secretly judging them to the way I'm judging myself harshly? Because that's how it works, really. We can only relate to other people from the place that we are at. And if there are things that I hate and don't accept in myself, I'm never going to accept them in other people. Not really. I can have tolerance to them, and then I will congratulate myself and pat myself on the back of how tolerant I am and amazing. But I will never really be able to connect to those people. The judgment is still there. So with the Ace of Swords here, as your advice, Ace of Swords talks about clarity, talks about opportunity, and the birth of a new idea. You have a lot here to work with. You have so much understanding, and you have all this like new pattern. You have this whole connecting with your emotions and your intuition. You have there's a lot here for you to be able to pinpoint these thought patterns that are still detrimental to you. And with that's the birth of your new idea. The new idea can literally be, and this may be coming from you or not, but I know that deep down there within, you know that if you keep judging this, whatever this is that shows up, the way you've been judging yourself another, it's not going to help. Okay, as I'm observing my own mind saying this and that, then I judge myself for being so judgmental, and here we go again and again and again and again. So you can go in circles like this forever. What you may be able to observe though is that, okay, I observed that the judgmental thought came again, or the felt like a rather cruel thought came up, or whatever that was, and I am able to simply look at it with acceptance. That's there. Okay, yeah, I see it. That's it. Let it come and let it go. And yes, in the beginning, you may still feel some guilt around it, but as you notice, that's the thing. The Ace of Swords is a lot about um, really ability to be very clear-minded and observant. And I think that you can observe this as they come and let them go. They come, they go, they come, they go, they come, they go. And you don't attach to them anymore. And you realize that whenever the shame comes in there, you thank the shame too for being there, because it's preventing you to maybe do something that you would regret later. Shame has its own purpose as a basic emotion as well, but it also is one of the most detrimental ones because it's the most uncomfortable and is the one that we want to feel the least. So we tend to really shove it off, and we really act out of shame in horrible and horrible ways. And that's funny that it came out, because most of the time the judgment and the cruelty that come from within ourselves come from a place of shame. And because we don't want to feel it, so we're trying to put it on other people. It's a complicated process of how that really happens, but just observe for yourself. Don't take too much from me that you may or may not believe it, but observe for yourself what your mind does. That's it. What the thoughts are coming in. When are you being judgmental? When this and that, and simply see what happens if this one time you're like, okay, yes, I see you. Oh yeah, I feel the shame. It's okay. It will come and it will go. That's not who I am. I'm not my thoughts. I'm not these thoughts or nor any other thoughts. Thinking just positive thoughts is not going to make me a better person. The thoughts come and the thoughts go, and I am not my thoughts. Just as much as I'm not my shame and I'm not my emotions, and I'm not, these are things that work for me. They are tools. And as I learn to create this science of how to work with it, and I'm taking all this time to check in with myself and to check in with the way I'm spending my time, energy, money, the where am I putting my emotions, where am I putting my eggs here. You develop more and more awareness as you do all this. And it happens naturally as the growth of a child. You don't need to strive for it. You don't need to work too hard. You don't need to push yourself to awareness. Cannot be pushed. Yes, you can train it. Yes, you can cultivate it. just the way you cultivate food, just the way you create a nourishing environment for a child to grow, or for a seed, a plant to grow. That's how awareness is being cultivated, but it's never going to be pushed, it's not going to be shoved off, it's not going to be forced, it's not going to, and the moment you see yourself trying, then, or trying too hard, that's an indication for you to slow down again and simply, I don't know, breathe into it and create some space, create a space for some more awareness. It may not make too much sense for all of us, all of you. It may make sense to people that have at least some basic training of mindfulness. I am a mindfulness practitioner, so my readings do focus a lot on mindfulness based tools. This is kind of what I'm, say, quoting, promoting. But I am also aware that mindfulness are not the only tools out there. So if you can take the meanings of these cards that I'm bringing up and find your own tools to work with them, that will bring a similar direction and result. By all means, suit yourself. I'm not saying anything that this is the only way, right? Okay, so Five of Cups and the Devil as your future energy. I'm a bit puzzled by this one, to be honest. It is very possible that as you observe, as I said, this Nine of Swords, the anxieties, the fear, the cruelty, the whenever we become, I don't know, aggressive or this or that, or whenever we think thoughts that we wouldn't want to think, but we create awareness to that. We also create awareness of some type of wound and pain that we've been carrying, where this type of thoughts were actually originating from. So you may be going closer a little bit to your original wounds, to your where the nurturing needs to be brought in, and where the healing needs to happen. And you may have a little bit of blues with that, but that's perfectly fine, because that's finally feeling something that you were avoiding to feel. You may have been like really not very keen to feel that, and it makes sense. Of course, who would want to feel sad? Who would want to feel a loss? Who would want, maybe you lost something sometime in the past, or someone, or you've gone through something and you never really had a chance to process that, because you had to push up and keep going, or maybe it was just too scary and too painful for you to really go through that and feel it. And with the Devil here, I do think about temptation right now with the Devil. And this temptation can go both ways. Sometimes it's really good to allow ourselves to be a little bit more permissive with ourselves, not too strict, to allow ourselves to enjoy life a little bit and enjoy the pleasures of life as well, and not just stay into a very sorry, maybe to not live in an incredibly austere way where it's all, I don't know, meditation work, this and that. It's great if we really need a little bit more push in that moment, and to build double practice. That was just an example, doesn't only need to be meditation, but like a very strict life, it's good to come out and play a little bit. It's good to come out and feel and indulge ourselves a little bit in these senses. We only live once. But of course, with the Devil, he can always go into darker places of our mind, generally, and talking about fears and talking about codependency and feeling trapped and so on. So maybe this is what you're sort of becoming aware here with this Five of Cups, like places where you've been feeling trapped or where you are feeling trapped right now. And I'm gonna pull out maybe two more cards for this. Oh, that was a quick one. Huh. Four of Cups. Again, Six of Wands. And Two of Swords. With the Six of Wands, obviously, this is you again having that victory over over your fear, I think, and releasing yourself to the place where you allowing yourself to make choices. Kind of unlocking your ability to take choices, make choices. Because yeah, of course, you're gonna have to step back a little bit and reflect on what's in front of you and what is it that you're not seeing. I think that this may show up to you for you somewhat at the end of the month, and it's quite important for you to go through that, to see what holds you back, to see what you're afraid of, to really take time to reflect, to really look at your choices mechanism again. But with the Six of Wands here, I really don't worry about it at all, because I think there's going to be a full victory. And you have two Six of Wands in this reading, so that's great. There's really nothing to worry. You're going to be more than perfectly equipped to have that inner conversation and to allow those feelings to show up. And you know, the devil does talk about the mind a lot. It's like, where is our mind conceptualizing these ideas and these thoughts of cruelty and this and that? The devil is mind energy, and it's there where we need to bring awareness. That's it. We need to bring awareness of what we conceptualize as bad, evil, dark, because we are creating bad, evil, and dark by not looking at it. By bringing awareness to these places, these parts of ourselves that we're afraid of suddenly become way less dangerous, both to ourselves and the rest of the world. Anyhow, let's pull out a Rumi card to wrap up this message for you. I hope that makes sense. Okay, this one is it. She offers the sacred wine, so drink. Okay, yeah. So in this case, I feel like going more with the initial interpretation of the devil, which was allow yourself to enjoy life a little bit, allow yourself to taste the goods that are being offered to you today. I shall read 32. Oh, it's filled open straight there. So the poem from Rumi says, "O wine giver of enlightened hearts, offer me the wine of your kindness, for this is the reason you have brought me here from the desert of oblivion. O beautiful wine giver, pour me the wine that gives me insight. Offer me the wine from the sea of love, and fill my heart with pearls. Pour into my heart until I shred the veil and go beyond reason. My spirit is consumed by judgment. Thank you, Rami. We were just talking about this whole judgment process, right? So my spirit is consumed by judgment, and my life is reduced by thoughts. Pour that precious wine over the frozen cries of skeptics until their words become warm and their nays become yes. Rumi. How beautiful that is. Okay. I'm going to go straight to the guidance because it's particularly wrong read with this book, with this card. So, oh damn, but it doesn't make sense if I don't read the rest. Okay, I'll try to summarize a little bit. So you're being offered a gift beyond your understanding. This gift is from the hand of the divine beloved, an offering to you that will lift you beyond what you have known into the next opening of your inner eye, of your heart, of your soul, so that it may caress the earth with the light of heaven. So this may sound wonderful, yet welcome thought. Yet welcome though this gift may be, there is a trick to receiving it, you see. When the sweet wine is offered, you must drink, but also be willing to become drunk. You must be willing to let go of your control. You must trust in what will happen, trust that you will be cared for, or that you may appear to be the fool. You must be willing to not have all the answers, or indeed any answers at all, and trust that this is according to the higher plan and not some inadequacy, thank you, or error. So will you accept the gift that is coming to you? Blah, blah, blah. I think I can skip this part and this will make sense now. So everyone will envy you, though if you open your heart to invite them too, many will say, oh no, I have to wash my hair, I have to sort through my accounts to count my fingers and toes. It will make me too long, I would simply won't be ready to attend, but you go. You enjoy yourself whilst I'm working long and hard at things so very important. This is what other people would say if you invite them over to taste some of this wine of yours, this gift. And you may hang your head and wonder if you too should stay at home to wash your hair and tend to your accounts and count your fingers and toes, many times over perhaps, to make sure you get it right. But then you'll hear the distant sound of clinking of glasses, of music, of stomping and dances and laughter, and you'll think a wise thought. So wise indeed that you'll stop thinking immediately after thinking it. That thought will be, forget this to-do list, I'm going to have some fun. Yes. Okay, definitely. That's the best interpretation for the devil right now. Go have some fun. You're putting in a lot of hard work here. This oracle comes with guidance for you. Are you having fun yet? Well, you may need to wash your hair and tend to your counts, that is fine. You may even need to count your fingers and toes. But over and over again, beloved, surely you can find some time in between the endless to-dos of your to-do list to throw a tantrum and come dancing with me instead. Your honor and commitment, discipline and focus are certainly to be rewarded with some uninhibited nonsense, hopefully. Come, put aside that seriousness for a moment or more and allow the wild child in you to take your body and soul for a spin. Together, let's go and paint the town the color of love. All right, Libra. Well, if that's your message here, I hope it makes sense to you. If it does, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm very grateful to you. Last month, I had suddenly a lot of views from Libra followers, so thank you so much for that. Yeah. I'm very grateful that you're here with me and that we are sharing this journey together. And so may our practice benefit all beings. Have a wonderful new decade, Libra.